Hello and welcome to Bookcast 2. Can you believe it's the second bookcast? Well, today we have a very exciting YouTube bookcast for you because today we're going to be talking about the Selection series written by Kiera Cass. Now, there are multiple books in the Selection series, but for the sake of timing, I'm only going to be talking about the first 3 books and the 2 other books. The first 3 books being The Selection, The Elite, and The One. And this is the best way I can describe the Selection series for you is basically The Hunger Games meets The Bachelor. But some people have seen some similarities to other fairy tales like Cinderella. So what is The Selection about? The Selection is about a group of girls. It takes place in a futuristic world where everybody is divided by caste. And when the future king becomes eligible of age, there he gets to choose from different bowls of the different caste system a group of girls that will be chosen for the selection. Basically, it's like The Bachelor, in which he'll pick the name and the girls go to the castle, and they'll get to be with the king, and ultimately the winner of the selection will become the future queen. Now, our main character's name is America Singer, who does not want to be in the selection. Why would she not want to be in the selection, you ask? She'll be interesting in a world of beautiful crowns and jewels. She'll be interesting in balls and high-class food, everything that she wants. Well, the reason why is because America has a secret boyfriend, Aspen. And Aspen is that of lower class. And that's actually forbidden. Her father, she knows, will never approve. But pressure from her family allows her to help out her father. She enters her name in the selection. And of course, she gets picked. And she's like what she expects, she's interested in a world of gowns and jewels, everything that she wants. Unfortunately for her, she quickly captured Maxon's eye. We find out later that for Maxon, it was love at first sight. That he knew that America won his heart. But America is oblivious to it. She's always like, I bet he's looking at other girls. He's not looking at me. And everybody else is like, really? Who's gonna tell her? Yeah, it's that story. So of course we entered the love triangle, especially when Max and America start getting more closer. We have America chosen between Maxon, the future king, the prince, and then we have Aspen, her first love, her secret boyfriend, and then her secret boyfriend. In the first book, she's determined not to win Maxon's heart, but towards the end, she's confused. She's confused. And then she's confused. So America is torn, especially when rebellion plays a role. Remember how I said I was talking about the first 5 books in this series? Well, the second 2 series are about America's daughter. It's about America's daughter. This is actually your spoiler alert. This is your spoiler alert for what happens in the end of the selection, Elite, and The One. You see, after the events of the Elite, America is sure that she wants to win this election because she realizes that she loves Aspen. Wait, not Aspen, Maxon. She loves Maxon, and she wants to be with Maxon. So when she tells Maxon that she loves him and that she wants to be with him, he's over the moon happy. They have a makeout session. But then, of course, trouble happens, and Maxon sees America with Aspen and is convinced that she does not love him. And she becomes cold-hearted, stoned, and America tries to talk to Maxon, but Maxon is closed-minded and tells her this will be best for everyone. And then, when he's about to pick the second girl of the selection, a rebel attack happened, and Maxon shields America, and he is wounded. He tells America, and while America tries to help Maxon any way she can to make sure that he stays alive, Maxon pours out his heart to her right before Aspen takes America to safety. We later find out in the attack that both the king and queen were killed. Now the king did not like America. Did not like America, but the queen did. The queen loved America like a daughter and knew that America would be the one to win Maxon's heart. She says that you can call me mom when you win. This is devastating, especially when Maxon has to grow up very quickly. When Maxon, now no longer a prince, is now king, and more now than ever, Maxon has to say his choice. So of course, he invites America to go to the hospital bed and tells him this is not a king asking, but my heart's request, will you marry me? And America says yes. They have a great wedding. America's made queen. Aspen, her first love, walks her down the aisle because America's father had passed away. So everything's great. And the first ends. And that's how the book ends. Then the new novels, The Crown and the Heir, follows the life of America and Maxon's daughter. Now their daughter's name is actually Adelina. Is Adeline? I forgot which name. I forgot which name. It's not how you spell it, but I'm going to pronounce it Adelina. I maybe pronounced it Adelina. So Adelina's selection takes place 20 years after the events of the first book. 20 years after the events of the first 3 books, and her selection. Adelina is very wants the fairy tale love, and her selection is different because remember what I said before. Every prince, every future king, Adelina will become the first queen because Adelina is actually a twin, and her twin is a twin, and her twin brother was born before her twin brother, and of course this caused confusion. But both of her parents changed the law to make sure that Adeline will become queen because of birthright. Because since Adeline was born first, therefore she shall become queen, despite the fact that all future rulers were actually males. So Adeline has the first ever selection, and she has her ball. She picks the name, and everything's great. Picks her names, and she wondered if this is going to be like her parents' love story because she's heard hundreds of stories of how their love was very romantic. But she finds out very quickly that this isn't going to be easy, and there's going to be some tough choices she'll have to make. Things get even more harder for Adeline. This is actually spoiler alert for The Crown and the Heir. This is your spoiler warning. Things get even more devastating for her when she has to act as temporary ruler when America has a heart attack. And heart attacks run in America's family. And Aspen and her father Maxon is devastated when he finds out that she had a heart attack. She refuses to leave her side in case she needs help until she's well enough to get better. Because, well, everybody says that his life, she became a part of his life when they met. So Maxon cannot live without America. So of course the other big men in Adeline's selection offer their condolences, trying to help her any way she can until her mother recovers. Luckily, America does recover, and Max refuses her role as king, and Adeline is allowed to go back and pick the man she wants as her husband. And once again, without spoiling what happened, Adeline ends up breaking the rules herself. Ends up breaking the rules of who she chooses to love. Of course, with the book series being highly popular, you have to wonder, what about Hollywood? Well, there was actually rumors of a selection TV series. However, but things didn't work out, and that ended up falling through. So were there a reselection series? Well, earlier last year, there were announcements that Selection will be made into a movie. But will be made for a movie. But casting announcements have not been announced yet. In fact, the Selection series has several novella novels, prequel novels, if you may will, about other characters. We get to learn about Maxon's life, without saying books' names because there are so many. We hear about Maxon's life before he met America, where he actually had a love before America. So we get to see his life before his selection begins. We see Maxon's own. We have a book series that we have books dedicated to Maxon's own mother and hear her experience in becoming queen. Now, there are other villains in the Selection series. I'm not going to name like the major ones, but basically other girls vying for Maxon's heart. We have Maxon's own father, who doesn't like America in the Selection. This is the first 3 books. So besides the other girl wanting Maxon and not liking America, we have Maxon's own father, who's actually, to put it lightly, very cruel towards his son, and cruel towards his son, and does not like America. So of course, like America, but he's very kind towards his wife. So kind towards his wife. When Maxon's mother meets America, it's like she knows that it will be America who will win his heart. America has won, will win my son's heart. And she goes so far, as I said earlier, to allow America to call her mom. But sadly, both of them are killed in the rebel attack, which makes Maxon king, which helped close up the books, ends of the books of the series. The books have been bestsellers, There have been some controversy with the books, but this is actually what I think fans like about the book. We have 2 major franchises that actually may love this book adaptation. So, in my opinion, if you're like The Bachelor and you're into high-stakes romances like that show does, then the Selection's good for you. You do get that with Selection. But you're into some more action, some dystopian futuristic world, that's like the Hunger Games. So that's what I said before. The Selection has the dystopian futuristic world of the Hunger Games combined with the high stakes game of love, like it's in The Bachelor. Combine those 2, you have a great book series. Like I said before, there is plans of a live action movie adaptation and that is in the works at Netflix, but I don't know much about it because we are here to talk about the books. The books are still bestsellers to this day. We have fans of the Selection who still pick sides. America is perfect with Maxon. No, she should have been with Aspen. And either way, it's fun. If you're into like high-stakes romances in futuristic dystopian worlds, this is the book series for you. The Selection by Kiera Cass. There are multiple books in this series, so you can very well catch up. This is Melissa with your Bookcast too. I'll see you next week. Bye!